Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and having a great day as usual. So first up, we have a bit of this can't actually be possibly true news. The former head of Mt. Gox, which many people don't know stands for Magic the Gathering Online Exchange, which is a very popular trading card game, has stated that he's actually thinking about possibly relaunching Mt. Gox and more so doing it through an ICO. So for those who are unaware, Mt. Gox was pretty much the go-to online exchange around 2013, 2014 for Bitcoin exchanges. It was like the place to go. Everyone always kept on saying use Mt. Gox to store your Bitcoin, to trade your Bitcoin, whatever you might need to do. It was based in Japan, and there was a lot of controversy around it because there were a lot of people who couldn't take out their money. There were a lot of holds on funds, and the website would crash, it would come back on, and then apparently at some point it just completely collapsed. It completely broke down, and it led to around 200,000 Bitcoin, not $200,000, 200,000 Bitcoin or more, just being lost, completely gone into the air. And then apparently they were seemingly found again, and they're apparently in the said to be with a trustee. So the money that was lost ultimately has to be paid back to people who lost their money, obviously. But Mark, the person who made Mt. Gox, argues that it should be based off of the previous value of Bitcoin, which was maybe around $200 or $300. As he says, you know, the price has gone up too much for him to be able to pay all this money back to other people, and that the $2,000, the 2,000 Bitcoins that were there before are still with a trustee. So during a recent blog post, Mark writes that one possible way to recuperate funds that would actually help get people their money back would be through an ICO, and that he would need to raise around $245 million. Not exactly sure how he's coming up with that figure. Going on to say that he feels that it's likely that he may not actually get all $245 million. I wonder why. Going on to add that if he actually doesn't raise enough money, it could simply be distributed to creditors, and that would be better than nothing. The best part is that at the end of all of it, he actually writes on the blog post, if anyone has $245 million sitting around, please email him and get in touch. Yeah. So up next, we have news that the first ever off-chain atomic swap between Bitcoin and Litecoin has officially completed. This is important because this all happens without either transaction ever being recorded on either blockchain. So this should then, in theory, allow users in the future to be able to swap coins off-chain without having to wait for actual blockchain confirmations, which would also result in lower transaction fees, which many people believe would actually be a big leg up for Bitcoin, as it would increase transaction speeds. And most notably, these transactions are 100% anonymous, as there is no trace of this transaction happening on either chain, even though they have both been completed. This we don't know exactly when this is going to fully happen, but they're clearly working on it a lot. We had a lot of news about this happening, all the atomic swaps. This is going to be very interesting when this is properly completed. So next up, we have news from Litecoin. Charlie Lee, the creator of Litecoin, has explained recently that pretty much major projects or anything that goes on or happens on the Bitcoin network, or anything that is being worked on the Bitcoin network, almost always directly benefits Litecoin. He says as both Bitcoin and Litecoin are incredibly structurally similar. I won't go into exact quotes because he actually kind of goes on for a while, but Lee says that without knowing it, every Bitcoin developer is basically working for Litecoin as well, and there's basically nothing they can do about it. Making sure to add at the end of it is that if you see an issue with this, is mainly because you're pretty much using cryptocurrency and Bitcoin to become rich rather than hoping that Bitcoin will actually change the world. So a large chunk of this statement seems to have come after the news of confidential transactions on the Bitcoin network, which, you guessed it, would also be used on Litecoin almost immediately after Bitcoin's integration, which would allow increased privacy in Litecoin and increased privacy for transactions. Though it should be noted that, I mean, even though they are doing this, you know, everything that Bitcoin goes onto Bitcoin, you know, directly affects Litecoin. This relationship does actually work both ways for those who don't know. Typically, before something is being launched on Bitcoin, it's kind of like launched on Litecoin first as almost like a test, if you will. Both SegWit and Lightning were activated on Litecoin before they were thought about being activated on Bitcoin, which actually caused people in the Bitcoin community to then kind of back and support SegWit. I still think Litecoin is heavily undervalued. It's not the biggest coin, but I think it's going to see great potential in the future. Let's see what 2018 has in store for the project. Alrighty, guys, that is going to do it for this video. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you might be, wherever you are. And I will talk to you all soon. See you.